Yo, welcome back, man. Going for the gusto, man. It's the podcast. You already know who I got with me. I got Casey Casino and Boom Bam Bonanski, man. We missing two other people, Frog and Sam, but we're gonna give them their feedback. They're gonna give us their feedback, I'm sorry. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do what we need to do, man. So first thing we're gonna start off with is the quarterbacks of last week, man. A lot of great quarterback play from last week, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it out to Queso. I'm gonna let him do his thing.
Speaking of quarterbacks, yeah, you know what, boy? Hey, boy, you gotta win a Jacksonville jersey because you don't know how many times we're gonna win this year. I gotta get it when I can get it.
Right.
I'm gonna start off with Trevor Lawrence, man. I got some stats: 25 for 30, 83%, the highest passing completion percentage in Jacksonville history, with a minimum of 30 throws attempted. That's an amazing stat. Second year player, my boy, my man. He had 235 yards of offense, 2 TDs, a QBR of 95. So my man was getting it done against the Colts defense. He was tearing it up out there. And then like another little highlight. Lamar Jackson, man, he was.
I wouldn't say a little.
That man was outstanding. 72%, 439 total yards, 4 touchdowns. The longest he had a run of 79 yards, and then he had a longest throw of 75 yards. Pay the man.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to pay him.
What do you want the man? I got the 6 years, $300 million coming soon, $250 guaranteed. You gotta pay the man. You gotta pay the man because
$300 million, boy, cool, Ray.
Guaranteed is a beast.
The man already won an MVP. He's on pace to win another MVP. Look at what he's doing. Pay the man the $300. You messed up with the $250, the 5 year $250. You messed that up. Now you got to add on another $50 and add on another year. Come on, your Ravens, you done messed up.
We don't know the details of that contract too.
Yeah, that as well.
We don't know exactly what they offered, and the man don't got no agent.
The man,
tell him
man, come on, it don't matter though, man. Exactly. Hey, Jalen Rose said that job best, bro.
His life is his mama. That's all he need. His mama got him.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I love my mom, but I never let her negotiate a contract.
but listen though, right? Dude, at the end of the day though, right? If you need to be found, you can call your mama, bro.
Right.
So everybody, Jalen Rose has said that job best. Like, they said, man, it's hard to get in contact with him. I said, how is it hard to get in contact with him? All you gotta do is call his mama. Word. Because as soon as mama call your phone, you gonna pick up the phone, bro.
Like what she want,
man.
No, look. This is a segment for another day, but I gotta say this, y'all boys, because look, I think agents are important. I know people feel like, man, agents be scamming, but look, you would rather the agent be in that room with a team telling you about everything you do bad than the team telling you, because now you got to come back to work knowing they already feel that way about you. Every team that go into a contract negotiation ain't gonna praise you when it's time to pay you, because they don't want to have to come out of their pocket. So what they're going to do is they're going to tell you all the stuff that you did bad. They're going to pull up the film when you fumble. They're going to pull up the film when you threw a pick. They're going to pull up the film when you've been limping. And they're going to say, this is why we don't want to pay you. And what the agent going to do is the agent will, get you squabble up with them a little bit there and say, hold on. But he got the MVP, all the stuff you saying. Yeah. That's what the agent would do. Your mama will go in that room and say, you feel that way about my son?
I don't know though, man. I think I ain't trying to cut you off, but at the same time, I think she might understand. But hey, listen, because I think his mother took the time to do the research of being an agent at the same time. I don't think she just in there on some game shit. Like, that what you saying? That what you saying?
The NFLPA do help people now. The NFLPA, they do help.
At the same time, but I feel go ahead.
You gotta look at. So let me. I don't want to go too deep.
Yeah.
Why when you see these people get guaranteed contracts, it ain't their mama. They got agents.
True.
It's the reason.
But that's true at the same time. But I want to say this, and we got to get on through. But at the same time, though, right? Yeah. That I feel like these agents come from the league, right? So I feel like that since he cutting out the middleman already, and the money coming straight to him, I feel like that's what's like a big flaw with what they're trying to do, because I feel like they want that money to end up coming back to the league some kind of way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Just that I just wanted to say that little piece real quick. But Rick, let me hear your quarterbacks.
All right, so I got 3 quarterbacks I wanted to touch on. So I got Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, and Mac Jones. I'm gonna start from the back to the front. So Mac Jones,
the offense is terrible. It's terrible.
I'm not.
So this is the thing. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. No, jeez.
So check this out. So Mac Jones, I think the people around the league and in the media they overreacted way too fast. It's just a little bit of a sophomore slump. You saw the progression from week 1 to week 2, and he played a better defense than he played in week 1. So, like, the thing that impressed me about him is that his composure was still there. He didn't let the outside noise rattle him. He understands, like, we're going to win the Patriots way. Everybody see Tom Brady in Tampa Bay and forget that how much games they won by 3 when he was in New England. Like, let's not all overreact and blow the thing out of proportion. Yeah. I think each week he's going to progressively get better, and that's a guy I say everybody to watch out for. I'm not saying he will ever be Aaron Rodgers, but what I am saying is that I like what I saw from him, and that's going to lead me right into Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson is the same way. Don't overreact. The crowd booing, all that. It's like, yo, it's a new system, new coach.
Right.
Like, let the man get his feet wet. Let him get his feet wet.
Yeah.
You got to get used to these receivers. You know what I'm saying? You play. I mean, like, it's you go from having, you got DK, which is a bigger target. I mean, you got Sutton, but like, Tyler Lockett has been dependable.
You got to think about it though. The only difference between Cortland and DK is DK probably bench about 30 pounds more than the young man. Let's be honest. And then he run probably a tenth of a second faster than him. But
his body stature allows him to create. He creates separation naturally because the cornerback can't get around his width. Not even how tall he is. His shoulder.
But I think that's what separates Sutton though. At the same time, I feel like Sutton can still do. I think he still can do his thing though. Like me personally, this is another conversation for another day, maybe for next episode. But I think he top 10. Me personally,
receivers.
Yeah, I think Cortland's top 10. Me personally.
Man, let's keep talking about Russell Wilson. Go ahead, keep talking about.
But I just think Denver's offense overall is going to get better, and in the first 2 games of the season, they left a lot of points on the field. It wasn't like they couldn't get to the red zone. Right. It's fumbling in the red zone. Like it's not like you're accumulating the yards. It's about having that culture and being able to finish drives. And when you can finish drives, that separates the game. We all know the game is won by inches, so it don't matter how much times you get to the 1 yard line if you don't score. Right? You don't get those points. So I think it's like everybody's
overanalyzation, dramatizing.
Everybody's just kind of just running out on Russell already. It's like, oh man, he's not it no more. It's like, give him some time. It's week 2. They're gonna get better. The Broncos are solid all around. I can see them like around week 6 or 7 starting to hit things on the cylinder and start rocking. Now I'm gonna go to Joe Flacco. The question of the day is Zach Wilson getting his job back?
Hey, shout out to Chris Ferraro. Shout out to Chris Ferraro for this. Shout out to Chris.
Dude, listen, is he getting his job back? Because if Flacco looked in that game, and I know I don't wanna be hyperbolic, but in that game, he looked like, hey, that's the Flacco that took us to the Super Bowl with the Ravens, and that was. Because it was clutch. Like it wasn't like the Jets was just winning that game.
Yeah.
Right. He made throws when it mattered.
Yeah.
He made throws when it mattered. And to be honest, you gotta look at it because sometimes quarterbacks and receivers don't always link. And it's not always the quarterback or always the receiver. Mm-hmm. But sometimes they don't link. But I mean, Corey Davis looked like a different person.
I just want to say this though, right? I think Zach get his job back because of who he is, right? And so what I mean by that is that Flacco arms still look good, right? But see the difference between Flacco and Zach. Flacco been in the league since motherfucker ninth grade.
08, something like that.
Motherfuckers in ninth
09,
grade,
something like that.
bro. You
Fresh
feel
out
what
of
I'm saying?
Delaware.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real now. But just the man got so much experience. So like, I think that's the only thing that would probably have that conversation go that way. Like, do we go with the young guy so he can learn, or we go with the guy that got the most experience? That's the same thing with the Jimmy G conversation, right? So we just gotta see what goes on and what happens from there on once Zach comes back. But at the same time, I think he will get his job back because the arm talent is there. It's just the decision making. It's the decision making. That's going to be the difference. You see what I'm saying?
And so the thing about that, right, the why I asked that question is I'm talking about just for the year, right? We always know Flacco ain't gonna be there much longer. So do you say for this year, you just let him keep sitting, make sure he's healthy, let him like learn a little bit more so when he actually comes back, he's a little bit more well equipped, like he knows the offense a little better. Even though he's learning it with the second stringers, he's more, maybe Mekhi Becton can actually play football. He's not hurt again. Who knows?
No.
And then he come back the next season.
I'm gonna throw something out there. Hey, and Rick, you know this too. Fitzpatrick, Heineke, Fitzpatrick, Tua, Flacco, Wilson.
Man, cut it out. But this is what this is what I want to compare it to, right? And it's not much of a comparison, but I just want to say this. We can look at it as a Brett Favre. He in the news for some other reasons now, but we can look at a Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers type of reason, looking at it, right? So Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years behind Brett, even though if we go back and do a redraft, Aaron Rodgers coming off the board first. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? So just
definitely.
So it's just like that's how we gotta look at it. So it would be good for him. The only problem with that is that's first round money just sitting there hoping to get a contract at the end of his rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? Because then now you hoping when the fifth year come around, you'd be like, yeah, we gotta take this because we gotta know if you for real. You know what I mean? But that's if Joe can continue to play at the level he's playing now too at the same time. And one thing I also would say is that Joe is not expected of Joe. So that's why Joe playing like that. He got nothing to lose.
Right.
He's just playing for the love of the game. So it's just like we got to look at it from that standpoint and just take it for what it is, because like if we look at it anymore, then it's just like I feel like we overpraising him, but he deserves that praise though. I will say that.
I mean, but
the Browns is a good defense. That's the Browns is a good defense.
Denzel Ward. You got Myles Garrett coming up the edge.
You got Myles,
but I don't like their safeties I don't like their safeties though. Like not just saying like I feel like they're very inexperienced. It's like Grant Delpit. This is what Grant Delpit. What?
So that
7th game in the league, 8th game.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, you're not including like games he missed. You're talking about like games he actually
games like he actually played in. Like he don't got the whereabouts yet. You know what I mean? To like
but you can say that for most of the Jets roster though.
Exactly, like Garrett.
Most of the Jets roster is
Garrett Wilson. I think 2 touchdowns.
Right? Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
A rookie versus what? Delpit's what? 2nd-year player? Is he a rookie? What is he?
Delpit 3rd year.
Second.
Isn't it?
3rd year, I think.
This is 3rd year.
So what's the excuse? What's the excuse?
My excuse, I don't have an excuse for them, boy. I'm just saying, just like, bruh ain't played the first year he come into the league because it was a COVID year, right? And then last year he missed a lot because, he didn't play a lot. And then this year he finally playing. So he got 2 games of him actually starting under his belt. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this, that front 4 will help him develop a lot more because you got Myles, you got Clowney. Even though Clowney ain't really the premier pass rusher, he's a pass rusher in this league. So
Jeremiah's sitting in the middle.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, we got to give them boys their credit, you know what I'm saying? So, that's what I would say about that from that standpoint. But I definitely agree with you, though.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then after that we got to get on through because James, you gonna talk about your quarterbacks. But what I'm gonna say is the Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers comparison is that Brett was already there like he was there in the system. It wasn't much change. Aaron had time to understand the receiving core that was going to be around him. He knew what he was getting himself into, and I actually am a fan of quarterbacks sitting like 2 to 3 years.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know why they rushed the development, but like I said, we got to get on through. So Soren, it's going to be on you because tell us about your quarterback.
So, man, I want to talk about Jimmy G, man. So I got Jimmy G, Jalen Hurts, and Marcus Mariota.
Jimmy!
Right? So I want to say I think Jimmy G may not help the offense get down the field exactly as Queso would say when we was talking on the phone, but I would say that Jimmy G knows the offense better than Trey, right? And so the only problem with that is, are we going to have another 2019 or 2020 Super Bowl hiccup to where that when I need you to make a throw, you can't make the throw? And so with that being said, I feel like he's better for the offense moving forward now. I mean, of course, like he's the only option, but at the same time, Trey Lance had the flair to run and be able to push the ball down the field, right? So my thing is that I just want to ask y'all is that, and then y'all in the comment section, do you think Jimmy G ends up getting another 1-year deal with no trade clause and whatever else he had in his contract that he just reconstructed and have Trey Lance sit a little bit longer because he may not be ready, or they let Jimmy G walk? And then I got another question too I'm going to ask when I get done talking about my quarterbacks, but is that I just feel like that I feel like now like that is a Super Bowl team because with Trey, I feel like I was about to be a little worried with him because the week one, it was a monsoon and then it was raining all day in Santa Clara the day of the game. So it's just like, was he going to be ready for that stage? Because that's a Super Bowl team. We can't like that. That's an elite defense. We can't. There's no offense or buts about that. That's an elite defense. But I just want to see what y'all thoughts was on Jimmy G, man.
Well, how long was you going to talk? God damn, let's get to the question. No, but first, if Jimmy G wins the division, wins 12 games, goes to NFC Championship game, I see him coming back for another year, $10 million, probably like 7 of it guaranteed, something around there.
Right.
Another quarterback battle with Trey Lance. Whatever happens. I can see that happening. Or I can actually see Jimmy G saying, you know what? I think I really need to go somewhere else. I can see that as well. Somebody who would value me, like Carolina.
Right.
Like, I can see something like that. No, Trey Lance. I don't think Trey Lance is ready. Especially with weather like that. No. That boy, no. I don't even think he's ready at all. Like, I really don't think. I think his confidence is shot from being a backup for so long. And I think the locker room is so centered around Jimmy G. I don't think he has, like, the confidence to, like, actually lead a team, a Super Bowl team out there. Because you got legends. You got Trent Williams. You got electric Debo Samuel. You got defensive players who are elite. Like, I don't think his personality is I wouldn't say big enough. No, actually, yeah, I don't think his personality is big enough.
And that's real because he seemed like just a chill soul. But go ahead, Rick.
So this is the problem with the 49ers, right? The reason why Trey Lance is doing bad on the 49ers is because first of all, he didn't play enough football. But secondly, he came from a place where he was in I can just do whatever I want. And Shannon has the offense set up to a way where the people got to understand this. Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, they're specific kind of players. And Jimmy G's effective with getting them the ball early. It's not like you have Justin Jefferson on the outside. That offense isn't meant to work like that. So just because you have a big arm quarterback, if you don't have a receiver that goes down the field a lot, you know what I'm saying? Brandon Ayuk likes to work inside that.
The intermediate. The intermediate.
And so
but he will take a screen
like
to the
Trey
crib
Lance,
now.
but that's what Jimmy G understands.
Yeah.
See, the people, he don't got the talent, but he has the understanding that I get my playmakers the ball early and let them do that.
As soon as they get the ball,
he might miss the throw down the field.
Yeah.
Because he understands, or he understands Fred Warner in the middle on defense. So I don't gotta force this ball. I'm gonna dump it off to the running back. We'll get 7 yards. We punt, but you know what I'm saying. I got on the defensive side of the ball. I got people holding it down, so I don't gotta force those kind of errors because he understands what's around him. I think Trey Lance hasn't played enough football to get that concept.
Experience.
That's
experience. Just like
Zach
Wilson. What's the same thing? Experience.
Right.
But keep going.
Right.
Well, that's a different kind of offense too, though. Zach Wilson, the Jets will spread it out.
Yeah. Them boys, listen. Them boys go listen. If he come back and he come back on a roll, I got him on the bench already in fantasy, but that's for another episode. But we get back to that one later. So where I'm gonna check it out. The Mariota, man. So like Mariota doing what we need him to do, right? So I was at work watching the game, right, and it was just like I was happy with what I saw, right? So people might be like, "What the hell you mean you happy with what you saw?" Like, dude, like he looks comfortable in the offense, right? And my thing is that I think that's a big thing for him, and I think that's why he excelled. I wouldn't say excelled, but he played well in Tennessee, right? But I feel like he didn't have the weapons because Ryan Tannehill came and made those players with the players that they had at the time. But I didn't think he had the players around him that he needed at the time, because I think now that since we got big Brian Edwards and we got big Drake London, we got Kyle Pitts, CP, we got size, bro. So it's just that now he got this big catch radius he can throw the ball to, and he can make those throws. So my thing is, I like what I see out of him, and then once again he can show the read. The only thing that I would like for him to do is that I would like for him to take care of the football a little bit better, but I also understand that he's been away from the office for like 2-3 years. So like a lot of things still have to come back and click for him. And so that's just my biggest thing. But if y'all got a chance to look at the game or catch the highlights, man, what's y'all take on Mariota?
I already written Mariota off like years ago, to be honest. Like I don't
real.
Have nothing really positive to say about him. I just have to keep monitoring how the Falcons do this season because I love Cordell Patterson. So just based off of that, I'll probably be more inclined to watch or even be in tune with more Falcons games in the future. But I'm not really looking for Mariota, to be honest.
I think that I think Mariota is the caliber of quarterback I always thought he was. I think sometimes like when you go to a pretty stagnant offense and the coach doesn't have the mind to open it up for you, I think sometimes people try to separate those things, and those things can't always be separated. Like in a case like Patrick Mahomes, right? We done had this conversation. I always bring up Andy Reid because that matters. Like,
it does. It does.
Like if Mariota would have made a Pro Bowl by now if he had Andy Reid. It was just would have happened. So I think he's that. I think he's a middle of the pack quarterback. I think he's solid, and I think he's good enough to get the Falcons at least 6 to 7 wins if he just stays consistent all around. So.
All right, where I respect it. So boom, man, this is my last one, and then I got a question about Jimmy G. Jalen Hurts.
He's still talking about Jimmy G. Leave that man alone.
Jalen Hurts, bro. Man, listen, Jimmy G is a guy that we got to talk about, bro.
We already not talking about that man. We got to leave that boy alone.
Listen, man. Anyway,
leave the boy alone. Let's talk about
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, bro. Is Jalen Hurts it?
No.
Yes.
Hurts ain't it?
Yes, he's it.
Might be it, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He's it in his.
Dog, the man had 400 all-purpose yards Monday night, dog. We gotta talk about that.
Yeah, I seen it. What I got to say about Jalen Hurts is simple. It's the way I've always felt about him. He has an ability to draw the linebackers with his legs, so he's throwing the wide open people. Ask him to make the throw that matters. It's going to get picked. It always does. He do the same thing that most college teams try to do. Let's put an option in the backfield, make the linebackers move, and now you throwing through. You making the throw that my granny could have made last night. It's those things stick out to me, and that's why I would say he's not it. Now, I respect him putting up the numbers.
Hold on. I got a question. So you're trying to say the man Ron Rivera, Cam Newton? That's what you're trying to say? In Cam early years, he don't really know how to read a defense, but he can read.
Well, I would give him a little bit better than Cam because Cam that's kind of 2 route concepts is kind of embarrassing. If I would say, but I mean, if it works, I get it. But it's the way the plays are set up. He doesn't have to read a defense. It's a one man read. It's like, hey, if he's not open, run. That's literally the offense. Like, why do you think AJ Brown got so much targets? Because he was the target.
But he was.
He didn't scan the field. He wasn't scanning the field looking for AJ Brown. He looked at him from the time the ball got snapped. He went to the fake AJ. Oh yeah, I thought okay.
I would say that for the.
But all them ESPN, they were saying he was eating up the cover 2, the cover 3, and the cover 6. I then heard what good buddy name was on Get Up? Dominique Foxworth. The man been saying the whole morning he eating up cover 2, he eat up cover 3, he eat up cover 6. Like so like
the coverage.
I think what Rick's saying.
You can't play zone.
But see, the thing is too, right? At the same time, like I feel like why he's eating that up is that the same reason why once you take them hook zones out of that cover 3 and out that cover 2 because you got a read option at the bottom.
It's a wide open.
Yeah, you out of your position at that point. It's hard to get back 10, 15, and get your head on the swivel. It's hard to get back there, boy.
And then you're not only reading, but once he starts scrambling and you end up in that I'm the cover 2 corner. I gotta be here to make a tackle just in case. So the moment I step up, I float over your head. That doesn't make you a great quarterback. That's a great system and a great way to utilize that player. I wouldn't take that away from him. But if I say he's it, no. Like let's let him.
We gonna pump the brakes on that one.
Games. Yeah, okay, I mean that's all I gotta say.
I mean, but I would say this though. I feel like he made some reads in that Monday night game. I feel like he did make some reads, but I see what you're saying because the offense is fit for him. It's definitely fit for him. Like I don't think too many people could come in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna run this offense. I don't think you can have Nick Foles running that offense, but maybe because Nick Foles ran the read a couple times in Philly, so we'll see. But man, I got a question, bro. If you are the Minnesota Vikings, bro, you don't draft a quarterback.
He gonna ask the question.
And you got Kirk Cousins and Jimmy G.
He really gonna ask the question.
Stick with Kirk Cousins or you grab Jimmy G in free agency?
I'm sticking with Kirk Cousins because he can't throw the ball.
Kirk Cousins, and that we can get on through from that point.
Kirk Cousins. And the offense requires a quarterback to throw down the field, and I'm keeping Kirk Cousins, and we're going to talk about the next subject. We gone.
Bet. So, man, check this out, man. So we're going to go ahead and pass it on to, let me see what we got here, man. So does having an elite defense really matter? Does having a defense matter in this league nowadays, bro? Since we're in an offensive-driven league, can you have a bottom half offense and a top 5 defense and make it to the Super Bowl and be successful? Or would you need to have a top 5 offense and a bottom half defense and make it to the Super Bowl, man? I just want to know what your thoughts is on that.
You want to go first?
Yeah, well, I'll go because what I got to say is pretty straightforward. So the way I look at it is that defense is relative, right? So when you say elite defense, you don't look for the 01 Ravens or the 85 Bears because those don't exist. So elite in this time if you can hold if you got, I don't know, let's say like 17 points, if you can hold teams, your season average is 17 points, you pretty darn good in as much as teams pass. And if you have that kind of defense, you make noise against the Buffalo Bills because the offense will come. Most teams score around 28 points a game.
Sure. Buffalo only gave up 17 points on the season, ain't it? I mean, I know we're in week 2.
Yeah, but no, exactly. But the thing about it is, it's not only that it's relative. It's where your defense is good. So you can have a bottom whatever defense that gives up a bunch of yards, but if they're a high turnover defense and you have an electric offense, they're effective. Or if you got nothing but pass rushers, right? Like if you have a bunch of pass rushers, even though, like, let's say you're a bottom something defense because you can't stop the run.
Right.
Situationally, if you go up by 14, now you look like a good defense. So I think defense matters in those aspects. But it's not. We're not going to see like we're going to hold a team to 7 points for the season type defenses anymore because the rules don't allow it.
True.
Okay, so based off of that, I'm going to say we're in the midst of transitioning to an era where we have more elite offenses than elite defenses. So I'm going to just bring up a few teams. Tampa Bay, when Tom first got there, electric high-powered offense. You got Kansas City when Tyreek was there. The year before they won a Super Bowl, the year when they won a Super Bowl. You got the Houston Texans when Deshaun Watson was there with DeAndre Hopkins. A high-powered offense. Defense was terrible. High-powered offense. Made it to the NFC Championship game. You got the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, the defense is actually pretty good. Elite defense, yeah, but I think the offense was better than the defense. Especially you got Cooper Kupp out there. You got Matthew Stafford throwing the ball. You got.
Hold on. Are you saying that Kansas City won the Super Bowl? Their defense was terrible. Is that what you?
I ain't gonna lie. Their defense was.
When Houston played,
their defense was bad that year.
Houston's defense
like
was
stats
bad.
wise.
Houston's defense when
they get it. They had a bunch of injuries, and when people came back, people were not scoring a bunch of points on it.
No, that's true. But if you're gonna be that guy, be like, they were ranked 30th in the league in defense, so points allowed, and you know what I'm saying. We're gonna be that guy. You know what I'm saying. But they defense was that. That's what their defense was that year. So,
I'm not saying that
because I was just asking. I was asking because he named specific teams, and the Buccaneers defense is what won them the Super Bowl too. So even though you're saying it's an elite offense in that Super Bowl, they ran the ball.
I'm talking
defense won that game.
We have to talk about the entirety of the season. So when you talk about
the entirety of the season, the thing
is,
I wouldn't say that though, man.
The defense was good, but the offense was the highlight. The highlight of the team.
I wouldn't agree with you on that one because I think Brady.
That's like saying. No, I just want to say one thing about it because my thing is if people get injured early in the year and they come back and they collectively become a better defense, if that defense carried you throughout the playoffs, it don't matter that they were ranked just because of a rank is based on averages. So like. You could be bad in week 5, but that don't matter. If you shutting everything down in week 14, that matters. Then it don't matter about week 5 at that point.
So this my question is to you, right, Rick? So this is my question, right? And I know we talked about this before, and so Cheese, this is what I'm gonna say. Like I feel like that what you said about Brady kind of is a little shaky. Not saying shaky, but you gonna see what I'm saying. So that first before the bye week, right? Wasn't really understanding that risk it or biscuit offense, bro. Right? Shout out to Lamar with that one. Risk it, no biscuit, right? So Brady wasn't really understanding that, I got to push the ball down the field. Like, I ain't go deep. I ain't going deep since. We talking about 12 years, 12, 15 years, bro. You talking about I gotta throw it long to Mike Evans. I gotta throw it 30 yards down the field. Let me get 7 for Rojo. Let me get 8 for Chris Godwin, and we gonna move down the field. Nah, Bubba. I need you to go 25 or better. Scotty Miller down the seam, Chris Godwin down the field on the comeback on the 20-yard. I need Diggs on the 15-yard dig, 20-yard dig, or whatever case may be. But he didn't understand that, and so when the bye week came and they had this big stretch that everybody wanted to talk about, where they went 8-0 after the bye week. Yeah, because Tom Brady sat down Brian Leftwich, shout out to the Jags. Hey, bro, let's get some of these check down calls in here so we can really move the ball down the field, get his defense a chance to really be rest, like have some rest, because I ain't having the best year touchdown to interception ratio, and I don't really like that. That's how the conversation might have went, but it was just like after that stretch, well, maybe you see a couple of times AB went off on Atlanta, or he went off on they went off on the Lions. They went off on bad defensive teams that year on the back end of the stretch. So like his passing numbers is going out through the roof because they're going up by 25 by half. So then now you got Lenny and Rojo just running the ball for the rest of the game. So even though he did throw for 4,500 yards that year, I know he threw greater than 4,500. I know that for a fact. I know that. If I'm wrong, put it down in the comment section. Chew me out in the comments. It's all good. It happened later on in life. But at the end of the day, he played well, but at the same time, is that like we got to understand that defense that year was crazy, because the defense was crazy the year before that and the year before that, because they got players in the draft through tanking, bro. The Buccaneers been tanking for a long time, and I hope my Falcons do that. But we still get some wins along the way, because we got to get players, bro. Like we got Kyle Pitts with the 4th pick, we got Drake London with the 8th pick. We need to stay that first 5 area, and we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But that's a conversation for another day, man.
All right, but no,
yeah, I was gonna say we got to get them through.
Yeah,
let me tell y'all where y'all derailed, and I didn't even get to the main part of my point. The teams that I'm starting to name, and I'm gonna finish the other teams I got the Chargers, Green Bay, the Bills, and I got Dallas.
Green Bay?
So the whole point was when I named those teams, look back at the history of the last 5 years in their seasons, all their offenses were top 10 offenses. And they all made the playoffs. They made the playoffs, the championship game, the NFC, the AFC championship game, or the Super Bowl. They were top 5. They were top 10 offenses.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So
I feel you on that.
They're getting away. Like teams are getting away. Like they might have good defenses or sub-elite defenses, but they mainly care. The staple is the offense. The offense is going to carry the team throughout the season to the playoffs. That's the point I'm trying to make. Defense is going to show up in the playoffs, and the defense is essentially going to matter. But what's going to carry you through the season, and those teams in particular, were the offenses.
But football has always been like that. That's why Green Bay can't get back to that's why Green Bay don't go back to the Super Bowl. Neither does Dallas, because when it does matter to play defense, they can't do it. That's why making the playoffs is cool, but you leave in the first round. How do you think San Fran shut down a bunch of offenses that were people on your list? They ran through them to the Super Bowl, because at the end of the day, the defense that's what matters. So can you win games in this league with offense? That's
right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we.
I mean, look at the Dolphins with Dan
Marino. That's true too. Now,
win, but you can't win the big game without playing defense. You can't.
That's
but
true.
then that point was San Fran. But guess what team beat them in the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs, a top 10 offense.
But
right, because they played defense.
They did.
They won that game defensively.
They did.
It's not like the Chiefs scored. It's not like the Chiefs scored 40 points in that Super Bowl. They won that game.
But true. That's true. Hey, boom,
held them to 10 points all the way to the third quarter.
Boom. You. But check this out. So, man, I want to ask this question, man. We're going to have to make this segment a little short. Sorry about that for the people at home, man. But who came to play who stayed their ass in the locker room, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it out first. I got Darius Slay, and I got Mitchell Trubisky, man. Those are my two candidates for who came to play and who stayed in the locker room this week. Man, 4 passes defense and 2 picks for Darius Slay. And then a lot of people might be like, well, Money Mitch doing what he's being asked to do down there in Pittsburgh, but I would like him to do better because I got a higher standard for him. And those are my two people, man. So I'm gonna pass it on to T.
All right, man. So Mike came to play. Who stayed at home? Guess who came to play, baby? The Jags defense came to play, baby. Man, listen, we had 3 interceptions. 5 sacks, 5 tackle for loss, 2 fumbles, 11 pass breakups, and 11 quarterback hits. The defense, we came to play. We got the win. Shutout. And then who stayed at home? The Baltimore defense in the fourth quarter. They stayed at home.
Them boys are still in the locker room, man.
Still in the locker room. Hey, man, listen. Baltimore, they had a 98% chance of winning after 3 quarters. What happened?
Dude, I can tell you what happened. I can tell you exactly what happened because I can tell you who stayed at home. Marlon Humphrey, Chuck Clark, Marlon Peters. Don't boy did house arrest together. Dude, listen. I've been hearing this all day. Everybody was like, hey, man, they've been questionable before the game. They might have some injuries. But, man, you don't get that excuse once you suit up to play. It ain't no reason for a wide receiver to be 15 yards behind you. And an injury. That don't got nothing to do with
burnt toast.
That got to do with somebody.
That's burnt toast. That's burnt toast, boy.
Somebody been lost in the sauce. Like, somebody was confused. But, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that because I'm not going to blame the whole Ravens, even though they got to find a pass rush. That secondary, yeah, they all stayed at home. I'm talking about Cartoon Network on Saturday morning.
Them boys watching Samurai Jack, ain't it? But so for my team to play, I got 3, and 2 of mine might shock y'all. So I'm gonna go with the Bucs defense because I think the Bucs defense is really holding the Bucs together this year, which is kind of surprising. But they got a couple of real tests coming up, so we'll see when they go against more elite offenses how that defense holds up. But they came to play definitely. Shout out to Shaq Barrett, coming on. Shane Ray too.
Hey, you just stop. Hey, but look, so he's on the shock.
Oh, Nelson. Hey, he can't play football now, yo. Hey, don't look crazy, boy. Listen, that boy
Nelson Aguilar can't play football.
Word, bro. Word straight. Yeah, let me get that piece of bread in your basket, and I'm gonna put it in mine. Like, word, bro.
and yo, so this my last one. Shout out to my boy. He be hooking me up in fantasy, but Amon St. Brown and Jared Goff. I'm gonna put them as a tandem. Jared Goff, I've been saying this all last season. He was playing way better than people was giving him credit for. But they were losing games. I said they were missing a lot of people on defense. They grabbed Aiden Hutchinson. Now they got a low pass rush. Okuda's back. He holding it down. And Jared Goff is going to have on the season. People say, I don't know why everybody over-exaggerated because the Rams actually won the Super Bowl, acting like Jalen Ramsey was on the team when Jared Goff was there. Like, you know how people be. Oh, it's the exact same team. No, it's the exact same Aaron Donald. That's about it. But Jared Goff played last season with the Lions. As I was watching, I was like, oh, he's doing pretty good. But they just kept losing games. They couldn't put it together. They played Philly real tough, which everybody praising Philly, but they only won that game by 3, I think. And then they played us real well last week. I mean, my defense is terrible anyway. Like, that's neither here nor there. You got to get shout out to them. Jared Goff looks like he's distributing the ball well, and Amon-Ra looks like he's like coming emerging as a number 1 threat. So that's all I got for y'all today. And
Word, man, we gonna shout out to our sponsors, man. So we gonna shout out our sponsor Capri Sun and Deer Park. You know what I'm saying? We want to shout out to y'all, man. Also, listen, and then also I want to say this too.
Hey, get
You
your
know what I'm saying?
hydration.
Also, I want to say this, man. Shout out to my dogs over there at Lit TV, man. You know what I'm saying? Go like, comment, subscribe, man. Also, subscribe to Pastor Dub Gaming Channel as well. You know what I'm saying? He doing his thing over there. And you know what I'm saying, man? Shoot. What else I got to say, man? Shoot. All that's left.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Word.
Hey, shout out to the Mac Show.
And
Shout out
shoot,
to the
man.
Mac Show.
And on
Shout out
top
to
of
the
that,
Mac
bro,
Show. The
shoot,
boys
man,
in
I
the
think we
building.
gone, man. Shoot, y'all have a good night. Y'all make sure y'all brush y'all teeth. And we gonna holler at y'all.
All right. Like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Yes, sir.